Hello and welcome to this episode of the Diary of a Lawyer. And I just want to briefly cover the issue of whether as lawyers really know where their clients' funds are coming from. According to an article by the Law Society Gazette, this is a recurring issue and it's something that all lawyers should be vigilant about um, because it happens on a daily basis. She starts by mentioning that there's a risk for law firms, for lawyers, and the advent of cyber advancement also gives an opportunity for people who could use it for different means, and they're increasingly becoming sophisticated, as we've seen various headlines in the public domain around that issue. And the author goes on to say, according to the Law Gazette, goes on to mention that whether it's AML or verifying funds, a lawyer's obligation related to checking clients' finances still stand. But they suggest they highlight a few points that lawyers should pay attention to effectively manage AML in legal jargon or sort of due diligence jargon and other financial risks, which to have the appropriate risk assessment in place along with the tools to actually accurately evidence that reasonable steps have been taken to protect the client and the lawyer. Obviously, knowledge and expertise will always be essential in mitigation, but similar technology can play a key role, the article goes on to say. And they point to a number of, I think, around 5 points that lawyers should be aware of. One is to verify more than just source of funds. Two is to use technology to help highlight risks. 3 is to make the process easier with open banking. 4 is to add an additional layer of assurance with AML checks alongside with digital verification. And 5, to not leave due diligence to chance. Now, just to go a bit into more detail in looking at each of those. So, for example, if one is dealing with conventional generate transactions called for source of funds checks, one needs a clear picture of the client's financial situation, and not just that they have the money available. And there's a solution that enables a wider view, according to the article, with source of funds, proof of funds, and source of wealth checks. And by digitizing the process, one can assess a detailed analysis of the client's financial history, which makes the process of gathering evidence and identifying any risk easier. Number 2, the use of technology in terms of highlighting the risks. Obviously, technology can help in raising red flags, which may indicate, any sense of a negative issue, but can also use technology to signpost the other process, and that could include gaps in the information provided or funds, etc., etc. Now we in the advent of open banking, where technology provides a secure way to reasonably accurately pinpoint the source of the digital financial information and changing the way law firms and other institutions are obtaining data. And this saves a lot of time, and you can have access to bank statements, PDFs, to give a real-time insight into a client's account. Number 4, last but not least, is another layer of assurance with AML checks is the digital ID verification. Now, this is a sort of tricky one because it sometimes, from practical terms, it uses AI, and some of the technology, the apps are not always, let's just say, always useful to the best of the client's situation in terms of the digital verification. So, however, it does help. So, with PEPs and sanctions gaining greater prominence due to the, for example, the conflicts around the world, monitoring is obviously essential. And digital ID verification can provide an additional layer of confidence. The client, say, matches their profile. And lastly, not to leave due diligence to chance. So the time to strengthen risk management and compliant current regulations. All regulatory organizations emphasize the need for this practice, and to ensure that lawyers are doing their part to reduce the risk. And technology and digitizing the process is important to that end, and can not only save time, but can make evidencing as a matter of day-to-day practice part of the protocol. And so that is it in a nutshell in terms of trying to really understand where your client's funds are coming from. And so there we shall leave it on this episode of The Diary of a Lawyer, and we shall speak again. Thank you, and bye.